Hello, everybody, and welcome once again. Thank you for being here, and welcome to another episode of Syntax Live. Thank you guys for being here. And I look around, and I just got to ask,
how many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Well, it doesn't matter how many we got. The right type, that's what we got. And I see everybody in the comments section. Doug's here, War Sniper, of course, and somebody who wants me to bite him. Finally got a Wednesday off to attend the live stream. Thank you very much. Just an FYI, I put it in the chat already, but the new Discord is in the chat room. So you guys can click on that if you want. I believe Erica was the one hosting the previous one, but this one is the official. That's mine. I'm going to be monitoring the whole thing. So if you guys get anything, I just want to get that started. And speaking of get things started, how about I turn this sucker on?
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
So nominal, I just dropped what I threw over the side. And here's to everybody. I do hope your week is going well. And apparently we got to welcome to the land of the ice and snow coming through here. And oh, it was Ava that set it up. Yeah, if you guys hear from her, let her know she can do what she wants with that one. I got mine. Again, it's already posted for you guys if you need it. So without further ado or a don't, and oh, by the way, before I do get started, I do have to say this. If for some reason we lose connection because the storm's coming in, hopefully it doesn't cause you guys too much
emotional damage.
But as you know, the standard practice here, if the stream dies, I'm not restarting it. We danced that dance before. No thank you. Been there, done that, got the t-shirts. So let's jump into the first one. The first one for this week was the weaker one is... Yeah, she's not going to be happy with that worst number. Anyways, the weaker one is... Now, this actually was a requested video. Now, I see one of the women around here at least once a week, and she requested an HFY with a stronger female lead. Because most of what I write, or what most guys write, is again from a male perspective. That is why this one was, what do you mean a weaker sex? It ain't one. And that's why she basically drop kicked the guy right in the jaw. And yeah, that's how that one came about. And it seemed like you guys enjoyed it. Also, quick question. What Twilight reference were you guys referring to in this story? Because I am at a complete loss. I haven't seen any of those movies with the exception of the first 10 minutes of one of them. And my girlfriend at the time dragged me in. And I shit you not, I was there for the 10 minutes. Obviously I'm going to sit through the previews, which weren't all that good. However, when I got through that, I'm like... I actually started to fall asleep and start falling. I actually got up, looked at her, and she's like eyes wide, stuck, like they super glued open. And she's leaning forward. And I'm like, this is horrible. So I got up and walked out, and she's like, what's wrong? I asked her, this shit sucks. And I just kept walking out and right out towards the food court because it was attached to the mall. And there was about 5 or 6 guys behind me, and they were thinking the same thing. Life was too short to stain your brain with that. So, if you guys can tell me where the Twilight reference was, so I can completely avoid it, I would greatly appreciate that. Now, there wasn't much as the way of comments on this, so I'm really going to be jumping over here to one that apparently became kind of a big hit. I don't know, it was because the thumbnail with the lizard ladies on there. Maybe I just did the thumbnail right this time. But human side effects. Results may vary. Yeah, look at these two girls. What are you going to think? Take 2 of them and call me in the morning if you can stand up. Apparently, I misspoke at one point. Sorry guys, sometimes I don't even hear the word if I mispronounced it. And however, who's that? Somebody's kicking in my door and saying, "For the Emperor!" with a $10 super chat. It is the MTF guard. And he says, sent quite a decent amount of clips this day. Enjoy. I got the 3 that you sent over last week. Those finally came in yesterday, by the way. I don't know what the hell's going on with the emails, man. I am completely and totally lost, but I got the 3 from last week. So yeah, I'm going to be about a week behind if you send them today because I didn't get any more than that. But I look forward to them. I really, really do. You keep sending those clips. I'll keep, when I get a chance to actually edit them to add some extra spice in, which is what I do. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And once again, Guard, thank you. Back into human side effects. Testing in progress. Somebody asked about the half-human children. And somebody else jumped in, and they are... And by the way, Erica, if you want something else, I will change that. But Erica comes in with another $10 super chat, and she says, thank you for everything, and stay safe and warm. I like badass women, and I'm sorry for the forced Twilight. I hated the book, and I hated the movie. I couldn't even bring myself to actually read the movie. Read the book. It was just yikes. Anyways, was it the spider monkey thing? Because honestly, that amphetamine soaked circus monkey I got from Text at the Black Pants Legion when he was going over BattleTech. By the way, he's a fun guy to listen to. I wouldn't play BattleTech with him because he seems like a sore loser. Hold on, magic word time here. But he knows his shit when it comes to BattleTech. All right. Oop, wrong switch. All right. Also on human side effects, surprisingly, not a lot of comments on this, but with the half-human portion, half-human children on that. The reason you didn't hear anything about them because there weren't any. Don't try to insert that, and humans can't. Let's face it. I've done a whole video. It's like a 2-parter of humans will boohoo anything. Doesn't mean you're actually going to cause reproduction. You're not going to procreate. Okay, is if you're looking at different species, which is semi-tantamount to bestiality, which is kind of disturbing. Actually, I take it back, a lot disturbing. However, when something talks, I don't think it really counts. So it is what it is. So just understand that at least with my stuff, guys, if there is no children spoken about, just assume there isn't any to speak about. And it's the same thing, like Demon, he's been working with me back and forth for his PAI Unknown Fleet. And we were actually going back and forth on how to deal with certain things. And he actually jumped into an area where he could have thrown in way too much information way too fast, and it would just confused everybody. Sometimes less is more. Okay, that is. And that being said, I was working on a more from the female perspective than the male. It was actually a bunch of couples, mixed species couples, talking about the fact that none of them can reproduce. It's not feasible, and how it's really tearing at the relationships and things like that. I was going to do something like that. I just don't have time. That is a very, 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 I don't want to say content, but a lot of speaking, a lot of talks back and forth. And it's going to be very difficult to get it lined up so you know exactly who's speaking when. And it also takes a long time to write all the lines down. So, and as you're probably thinking, seriously, was the next one? Oh, someone's pulling in. I see someone else is pulling in. Yep, there he is. And it looks like he's idling, just waiting for it to stop. Okay. And that's a $10 super chat from Brian Kemp. He says, some great one-off stories. So thank you very much. I'm glad you guys are enjoying them. I really am. Now on that, I'm going to get into one later here that apparently some people didn't enjoy so much. So, and I need you guys' opinions on this. But thank you again, Brian. Now, when it came to seriously, this one came up because my feed is just covered. I cannot even go into the studio without first seeing somebody go, what if Darth Vader time traveled back and killed the Jedi Council? What if Luke time traveled back? What if this? What if that? What if that? What if? And I was just like, seriously, it's not that difficult to understand. I mean, hell, at one point I was, believe it or not, this was one of the few commissioned works that didn't involve the yeah, or should I say, it was actually about what would happen if the a random group of about 6 or 7 people of today ended up in the Jedi Council room in the beginning of the Clone Wars. And that twisted in so many different ways. And obviously one guy's going to draw their weapon and get sliced in half by a laser dildo. And then everyone else is going to be, whoa, 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 where's the fire? Or something like that. And it's going to get very, very weird. Now, if you do that with just one person, yeah, it's easier. However, only a few people are going to relate. In particular, when I was asked to write for the one person to do that, the guy literally says, I can tell you all exactly what's going to happen, but everybody has to calm the hell down. Let's go talk to the Chancellor, bring all your Jedi Council. And he spends the entire time chewing them all out, saying how they're all full of shit and they need to look on both sides of the Force. And then he's like, oh, by the way, Ahsoka, the one you're supposed to marry is this guy here. Luke, you go over, or Anakin, just leave here and go fuck your wife already. And then, hey, Obi-Wan, go back to Mandalore and plow through that woman that you've loved since you were a teenager. And by the way, Jedi Council, shut the fuck up. I mean, yes, he is about that brash. The thing is, a lot of people kind of gave me shit. So, oh no, then this, that, and the other thing won't happen. I'm like, I know. That's the kind of the point of the story, isn't it? So anyway, as I head down the
slip space rupture,
by the way, I looked for that other sound effect you guys were looking for. I spent over 2.5 hours trying to find that one sound effect and nothing. I found one partial where it literally was the end of that sound effect, and then it was the chief saying, or the arbiter saying, "Oh, is it more brutes?" And the chief going, "No, worse." I'm like, you son of a bitch. Yeah, it cost me like $10 to get that, and I'm just like, yeah, it's the wrong fucking thing. Ugh. Okay, back to reality. Okay. Also, if you guys are actually looking on the right side of that, Shirley, you must be joking. I'm not. And don't call me Shirley. Apparently, somebody got a big kick out of that because you know where it's from. And guys, if you haven't watched the movie Airplane, you're missing out. Somebody said spicy triangles versus spicy. I put ordnance, but he said which is true. Once you get inside, especially when they're inside an atmosphere, if you were to detonate inside the lower hangar, which is right in the center, you're going to snap that thing apart like a taco. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, it wouldn't matter if it's crossways, right up the middle. Doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. That son of a bitch is going to fall right apart. And yeah, even small ordnance, once it gets into the hole, blows up the guts on the inside, twists it out, breaks the back, and down it goes, throbbing in pain.
Swing.
So, okay. So, yeah. Anyways, let's see. Where was I? Now, there was some actual confusion on this. Actually, they were asking if everybody around the world was frustrated. They weren't frustrated. Everybody was pausing, just like it says here. All personnel prepare for attack from what? They were like, they literally were like, seriously, like we haven't already game mapped this for like forever. And the links War Sniper did not download. I will look again. I'll see what I can do. I don't know why they didn't work. It's possible I got to actually adjust the volume on them just a little. bit, which is possible. Before you send me anything else, let me go back and I'll double check. Don't overdo it. I'm going to actually put myself a note here. Check links. Slip space. Sure. Okay. I will make sure I double check that. Thank you for sending me those, by the way. All right. But yeah, the whole thing was just seriously, you got to be kidding me, right? Which is why I went really fast over the stormtroopers getting completely wiped out. All right, somebody put into the comment section, Erica, how everything should be good for business, how peace is good for business. And I've sent over, it's the, let me write this down, or get this right here. The rules of acquisition, where she said, war is good for business. I said, no, that's the 34th rule. What's the 35th rule? Or sorry, war is good for business, 34. Peace is good for business, 35. It's easy to get them mixed up. See, I have it written in front of me. I'm still getting it wrong. So, yeah. Aside from that, one more thing, guys, and I need your help for this. I seriously need your help for this. If I am repeating something in the stories and I don't see it, because I usually won't, let me know. Okay. Sometimes it just misses me because I'm the only one doing the editing. I literally have to write it down, reread it, and then I listen to it while I was recording, and then I listen to it again before I actually post it. Sometimes I don't even realize that something from the previous story, I'm already doing again. Okay. It's just, it is what it is. So anyways, let me jump over here to the trade wars. And I sure hope you guys got a kick out of this. This was, at one point I actually was listening through and I forgot I put a certain soundbite in, and even I started laughing. So I know the joke hit. I think it was the one I said,
oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Yeah. It was either that one or the whole
Gotcha, bitch.
or anything like that. Yeah. There was a big question, or somebody mentioned how the soundboard, this one I just was touching on, was going to help me out. Actually, this didn't help. As I'm writing, I actually had to write. You know what? Do I have it in front of me? I think. Is it this one? Is it this one? I don't think so. Maybe I can show you guys. I'm trying to find the one so I can show. Oh, yeah. On the sides here, on this one, where it has all the, you can't really see it, but it has like little arrows on the side. It's actually a note for me I have to put a soundbite in there. And it's actually written in there. I don't have to have stuff in the margins, but to each their own. On that note, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the shit out of it. It's just the way my editing software works. And also, hitting one of these, I can't guarantee the volume's going to work. So I got to go through it anyway. Somebody mentioned space truckers, more like space teamsters, actually, coming into each other's aids just to beat somebody's ass, which they do. And as you know, don't try to take a man's property. Just like don't mess with the boats for good reason. Yeah, Leonid, you probably do know my writing patterns just because you guys been listening for so long. I try to change it up as best I can, but everybody falls into certain ways. When I actually read stuff out, it's, I do the pauses, but I kind of speed up or slow down or whatever, but I try to keep it a certain consistency. It is what it is. Okay, that's the wrong. Oh, that's where it was. Peace and war are good for business. Boom. But yeah, just warn me about the repeating phrases, guys, so I can make better content. And just so you guys know, I know you guys wanted me to continue on this next one. They want us to join them in, and the reason why it's there is, you guys know, in there. We want you to join us in space. He's like, no, you want us to join you in war. And he's like, I'm cutting all the bullshit. Surprisingly, this one didn't go over all that well as far as view count. And honestly, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it was the thumbnail. I think people thought this was one of those, some guy crashes on a planet and suddenly he has a harem of super alien chicks and stuff. I don't really write that shit, guys. You know, if there is one, that's usually, you know, one innie, one outie going together. And I'm trying to be YouTube friendly here. It's the whole thing about mixed groups. Usually it's a group, but they're usually not all banging. Usually. But yeah, you guys can let me know on that one. There was a lot of questions about the potential couple, in particular, the young private who like held the shaking female because she was so scared. Again, whenever you guys write your stories, sometimes less is more. There's a big to do about that. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes you don't need this crazy story to actually get even the slightest bit invested in your characters, because when that happens, you're able to extend the story without having to focus on that one group. You can always come back to them, say, oh, yeah, they've actually been together for a while, and here's their kids, or if they don't have kids, or what have you. You know, you don't know. It's all different. So that's why I left that one alone. As for why humanity would join so readily, well, it actually stands to as a not only financial but tactical reason. Financially, because they can charge the other folks, just like the old Lend-Lease program we had back in the 40s. There's also the fact that you can keep the front line as far away from you as possible. I would say humanly possible, but we're dealing more than humans. You keep that front line away, less risk of your guys getting caught up in it. It's just that simple. Or I should say your logistics getting caught up with it. Because once the lines get really close, it's really hard to operate in that area. Trust me. Even in training environments, when that happens, it is, God, it's annoying. Because you keep having to pull your lines back and having to make these long loops so you don't get shit picked off as it's going from point A to point B. All right. Let's see. Somebody brought up a really good point. Said many of human society released on the galaxy is a bad idea, and I tend to agree. There are some people who are just some murdering motherfuckers, and there's going to be a bunch of folks out there that are just evil motherfuckers. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And you just want to look at a few of them when they do bad shit and say,
of course you realize this means war.
And yeah. What's even worse is when you go to fight them and suddenly you're the one yelling, it's a trap. You know, that could be bad. Excuse me. Okay. Again, you guys got to help me with this because somebody put this in and I'm completely lost. They said that when the shit, you know what? I got the wrong one. God damn it. You know what? I forgot to put it up there. Anyways, one of the folks said, "Hey, good morning, Miss Schlowski. Where the hell is that from? I don't know. Let's see. And the most recent one that I had, which unfortunately I forgot I didn't put the fucking thumbnail up. Apparently God damn it. Sorry. Apparently it was too much on the nose. Where they walked in and said, "Hey, good morning, class." And he started talking about how the reason why humanity is so contained and does not go beyond their territory is because they get invaded too goddamn much. And okay, thank you, Erica. Which, by the way, one of the best actresses was on there, but unfortunately she doesn't have the look. Is the one who played the principal. I think she's an excellent actress. I have yet to see her in a bad role. She is just incredibly talented. She just doesn't have the look, which is a shame because you want the people with the talent to actually be out there. Anyways, the reason for that particular story where the teacher was kind of telling everybody how they're being dumbasses in a class called History and Moral Philosophies, by the way, that's straight from Starship Troopers, do you have any, well, I'm sure you guys have seen all these HFY stories where humanity is very xenophobic. And that was actually coming up from somebody sending me a message on why are all HFYs so xenophobic? Why are they out there just killing aliens like crazy? Why are they doing it? Why is everybody so xenophobic? So I wanted to just make one that went into that. Now, being that as it is, did anybody catch what series from this channel was actually referenced in that story? Just out of curiosity. And that's the end of the notes on this one. So I am going to run over here and I'm going to throw on one of the new videos while I get everything ready for the next page.
Short, just up. Truck's up and running. 11 o'clock.
Okay, for some reason, my computer's being an asshole. Oh, wonderful. Hopefully, I'm not losing you guys. There we are. I was trying to get something lined up so I could throw it in here. Anyway, let's get back on track. Over there. And hopefully, I'm not sitting here and going, what the fuck is that? But that's exactly what people are saying when looking at Starfleet Academy. Holy fuckle knuckles. Oh my, just what the front flipping flying fucks are they doing? My brain hurts and I haven't even watched it. I just saw little clips of it. And I'm just sitting here saying,
holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
And actually what that is, before I get too much into it, is another $10 super chat from, and he wants to be known as Skip. Oh, by the way, well, let me just read this first. He says, my favorite series is They Call Us Monsters. My favorite short is Galactic Pecking Order. I have watched them multiple times. I forgot I did Galactic Pecking Order. That's actually one I should get back into. The only reason I don't do They Call Us Monsters and actually finish up the entire series is because when I do that, since a lot of people come here for science fiction, they don't realize that one is actually science fiction, because it was a scientific process that caused the change worldwide. Too many people think it's fantasy. It's not even close to fantasy. And hold on, let me say the magic word. But because of that, the viewer just goes into the toilet. When I did the first saga of They Call Us Monsters, I have yet to recover, and that was years ago. So I will most likely hit it again. It might not be for a while. It is what it is, man. I do got to ask, did you like the... Oh, crap. Brian hit it perfect. Yes, it was referencing human battleships. One of my first series. It's only a 3-parter, and it mentioned in all 3 sections. Anyway, thank you again, Skip. Appreciate it. I do need to know if you like the thumbnails I give you during your shout outs or if I should change to something else. So back to Starfleet Academy. And so many things are wrong here. First off, every single couple is not intersex, it's interspecies. It's not even interracial, it's interspecies. I'm like, how, what, where, when, what? My brain hurts now. I just,
emotional damage
is exactly what I'm getting as I'm screaming, God damn it, at the screen. And every 5 minutes, as somebody's showing me little bits of it, I'm just sitting there.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
It's just, it's infuriating. It is just infuriating that they took what was a classic series. At least Next Generation was really good. I could do without the first series, but it's just messed up. I mean, the amount of, especially for the liberals, the amount of copium they are snorting up is just crazy, is absolutely crazy. Because I saw a couple of snippets. One, you had the captain curled up like she's a 12-year-old girl in the chair, you know, feet all the way up into her butt crack. And then she's like slumped over like she's sleeping sideways. I'm like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be the captain of a ship? This is not how it works. There's no professionalism. There's no there's no respect. It's just disrespectful ways of doing it. I mean, seriously, if anybody did that on a ship, they would first off lose the respect of all their crew. Their crew would basically say, like, get this guy out of here before we chuck him over the side. And two, the amount of arrogance that's there, especially with the, I don't feel like wearing shoes. I don't like the way they looked. And again, this is supposed to be a high-ranking admiral or some such crap walking about. I'm like, and the thing is, somebody did a video showing how Family Guy matched up, you know, the no shoes, the William Shatner, you know, let's run around barefoot in the rain. Griffin, you're crazy. Barefoot, you say? You know, and all that. I mean, just, wow. It just hurts. And it's so much worse than everybody believed it was going to be. Now, I kind of wish I had some clips to show you for it, but unfortunately I don't. I can't get them off like YouTube or anything like that without, again, it cost me like $20 for a clip. And if I try the piracy ones, I'm not risking my computers. Thank you. I know they're safer nowadays than they used to be, but still. But it's just, it's just crazy how much copium they're snorting, because every guy there that I saw, doesn't matter what species they were, it's like lower decks. They're a complete and total lunatic. They're a complete and total loser. They're just dumber than hell. And I'm just like, no, you wouldn't get to that rank being that stupid unless you were very well connected. And we're not talking about the British Navy from back in the 1800s here. I mean, it's just crazy. It physically hurts me, guys. It really does. And all I can say is, no, I'm not dealing with this crap. So another one for this. I'm sorry for you guys who watch or play video games, but the female Astartes, also known as the Femstartes, are now canon. I'm not even a 40K fan, and I know that's a bad idea. I know that's a seriously bad idea. I mean, what's next? Xenostates? They're going to allow other creatures from the Black Lagoon or something, from the Chaos Mist or whatever the fuck they come from, and now that they're going to be the protectors of the Emperor, And when they say for the Emperor, it's going to sound like they got something shoved up their butt and down their throat at the same time. I mean, no, what the fuck? You don't mess with something that works. And I know personally a few guys who are selling everything they have for 40K. They're literally, and this was stuff they have worked on, painted. It's beautiful. And they're getting rid of it because they're so pissed. And it's a shame. Now, granted, they're probably going to have enough money to buy a car, at least, and you guys know how car prices are. But I looked at some of the pictures I'm sure you guys have of the way these are going to be designed, and it's not femme studies, it's Karen studies, especially with the crop short hair. I mean, if you want short hair and still have a badass woman, weren't the Sisters of Battle a fucking thing? And I look at these guys who are doing all this, making these decisions, and I say, arrogance and stupidity in one complete package. How efficient of you. It's just, yeah. But the people on the ground are like the guy that used to fix stuff. No one listened to Sathras. No one listened. And, you know, they start looking at this and they don't listen. Even though we're telling them the truth, and they're like, oh, we have to make up for time. You are finite. They are finite. This is wrong tool. You know, it's just, sorry, I've been waiting a long time to do that joke, even though I kind of botched it. Anyways, it's just, why are they screwing with something that works? Speaking of which, something that works, The Mandalorian. Something that used to work. Star Wars is still fucked, no matter if Kennedy finally leaves. There's a lot of talk saying she's finally out. I wonder. I really, really wonder. So anyways, they're trying to go back to the way it was when it first started. And a lot of people are saying it's unrecoverable. It's too little. It's too late. It's not going to happen. And I'm sorry. Even though you're trying to get away from modern audiences, it's just, no, motherfucker. You shot yourself not only in the foot, but both feet, both knees, and in your groin at the same time, just for good measure. It's just, It irks me when you had something good, and then the businesses get involved, the big money, and they just kill it. I mean, another perfect example. When I was a little kid, we used to listen to country music a lot in my house. Yes, I know country music is the way it is. But I can actually show you the point where it started to die. When Garth Brooks sold out, but Billy Ray didn't. Garth Brooks made more money than Jesus, and Billy Ray got pushed into the side, and then they basically got a hold of his daughter and turned her into whatever the hell that is. That was the beginning of the end. The true beginning of the end. And it died a few years later when they came out with something called Honky Tonk Padonka Donk. I'm not even kidding. That's an actual song, people. Came out early when I was in high school, and it was just, I just stopped listening at that point. It wasn't worth it. I actually didn't listen to the radio for years after that because I just couldn't stomach any of it. And it's just, why would they do that? I mean, hell, 1980s rock and roll music used to have a passion. Even through the 1960s, you know, I forget. I'm not good with the artist or something, but you got the guy who sang Cherry Pie, and then you got I think the name was Twisted Sister. We're not going to make it anymore and stuff like that. When they sang, even if it was one hit wonder, they put so much passion in it that it was worth something. And it's like, now I wish I had Mr. Miyagi here. Don't never give up passion for principle. Or never turn, whatever it is. Yeah, no matter if you win, you lose. In other words, they're losing their passion for the money, and that's what they did to the Mandalorian. And they had one of the best scenes on any of the Star Wars, which is when they fought and took down that cruiser or frigate or whatever the hell it was. And yet they still shot it in the ass. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it was done as soon as they destroyed Ahsoka as a character. Now, I don't even know if I can blame the actress on that one. I really don't know, because everything was just spiraling down the shitter at that point. They should have stuck with the MMA fighter. All right. On to the next one. Tomb Raider. You guys heard that one is coming out, and apparently they shrunk down Lara Croft again. Not only is she square-jawed, but she barely has mosquito bites on her chest. I'm like, she's always been very well endowed. That's kind of one of, not really draws in, but that's part of her character design. She's a preset character. Keep the goddamn design. What is so hard? I mean, if they want to have a masculine character, go watch The Worst of Us Part 2, or that game, where the lead woman, I guess, has got broader shoulders than me. And I mean, it's more square. Well, it's not saying much because I don't have much of a square jaw, but her jaw is like really square. I'm like, come on. You can't even watch the love scene with that thing without going, this is not good. I'm uncomfortable watching this. And then eventually you just say no. So, these next ones I'm going to run through because they're fairly all together. High Guard, Assassin's Creed, Rebooted, which is actually the name of a game. They all got sweet babied. Every single one of them, not worth it. They're all getting ratioed right into the fucking dirt. It's just, you just, why did they take good ideas and screw them up? Oh, yeah, that's what companies do because they know nothing about creative arts. Now, I used to be one of those who just said, watch it with the creative arts because these people are there to make money. And why would we care about the creator? Well, without the actual creative portion, you don't have anything, which is one of the things we have to do as those of us that write, you guys included. By the way, I'm still waiting for a few things from folks who are going to send me in. By the way, Demon, if you're listening, take your fucking time, please. We already had that conversation. Take your time. Do something that you will be remembered for making something awesome. Even if you don't make a lot of money on it, kind of like the channel, it is what it is. So, before I go into more, how do I put this? What's happening around the world? Let's watch another video. I'm guessing those shots were the fun part of it. Honestly, I like the games where if you shoot something down, it will actually fall and actually crash and crunch whatever's underneath it. That's why I'm a big fan of Supreme Commander. Even though Supreme Commander 2 sort of kind of sucks in comparison to his predecessors, it still has that mechanic. If you want to literally bomb an enemy base, you send in your flying units, and as they crash down after they've caused damage, shit just explodes. You may have given them a bunch of mass, but it's going to take a long time for them to recover, which I've done once playing the Aeon online against somebody, and I kid you not, he said, I'm going to find you and kill you because I flew in all my big disc-shaped stuff right on his front line, and here come my ground units, and just as my guys start falling, all his front turrets, his entire front line just splatted. And he was just pissed because my guys just strolled right in, and before his buddy could come and help him out, I basically gutted his entire base. He was able to rebuild because I didn't get his command unit, but I got pretty close. Anyway, I don't know if you guys have seen this, and this is for you guys in the UK. And by the way, because I'm going to say this next part, if I go to the UK, they might arrest me. Apparently, there was a propaganda game with some sort of purple-haired activist type thing. It is all about activism. It's about istafil bigoting and all that other fun stuff with the name Amelia. When people were playing it, they literally went, "What? And everyone was like, this is bullshit. However, some guys got real clever. And I wanted to get a picture of this. Unfortunately, it's so new, I couldn't get it on the image search. They made a CGI of her and they put it in all these other ones. And they literally have her saying the exact opposite of what the government wanted to. And it's hilarious. And I'll tell you what, the game itself, do a walkthrough or do a let's play of it, and I dare you to drink every time you physically cringe. You might have to call the paramedics due to the blood poisoning or alcohol poisoning. But the actual like jokes they did, the CGI stuff, oh man, that's just it's just funny because all these people that are snorting copium, they're literally doing lines so big a blue whale will go, that's too much, man. It's too much. Woo! You know. All right. Off of that stuff with the UK, I got to talk about Netflix. And damn it, I forgot to grab it. I had the Netflix logo. I was going to throw it up here. They're losing to piracy. And yes, Chris, it is propaganda fail at its finest. And yes, I would appreciate thumbs up, guys. Anyways, Netflix is severely losing to piracy, mainly because, just as you guys know, with all the streaming services, they're pricing themselves out of the market. They're making stuff strictly for modern audiences and crap like that. And even if, say, you get the right streaming service, it doesn't matter which one, you might not even find what you're looking for. And say you want to, and I know they keep the Marvel movies up. However, say you want to watch Iron Man or any of the Iron Man movies, anything with the guy who plays Iron Man in it. At any time, that service can make it unavailable. They have the movie, they're holding on to it, they're holding it tight like it's their fucking nutsack, but they will not let you see it because then they don't have to pay royalties to the cast, crew, actors, or anybody else that's affiliated with that movie. They're trying to cut costs by pissing everybody off. And it's just absolutely astounding that they would do something this stupid. And it's pissing everybody off. Everybody's going to piracy. And before you say piracy is wrong, I'm going to read this straight up because I wrote this down. I want to make sure everybody knew, because this is genius. Because you know how they say if you are renting something, say you get something on Netflix, you don't actually own it. You have no physical copy. Just like with the games now, even though you have a physical copy, if it's not supported by the server, it doesn't work, which actually happened on my game computer because Steam decided to fuck me in the ass on this one. Still stings. Anyways, they say if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. You can't steal something that isn't owned. Okay, pure and simple. Piracy would implicitly be you're stealing something that somebody else owns. However, like they said, you will own nothing and you will be happy. Bullshit. I need a button on here that screams bullshit on here. All I can say when it comes to these Netflix or Disney Plus or any of these,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
It is just embarrassingly bad. So before I go into the comment section, let's blow something else up. All right, let me scroll up here, and I think I will start right about, where was I? Okay. Oh, shit. I hate when this thing jumps on me. God damn you, you pieces of shit. All right. Right here, right after I got my super chats from Guard and Erica. This is way up towards the top here. And see. Doug is saying, got some good news though. My doctor is pleased with my progress with my diabetes and has reduced my insulin level. Dude, fucking awesome. Oh, you know what? Where is it? Tell me I downloaded it. Tell me you damn it. I'm gonna have to get it. Hold on. Let me grab this real quick. And as soon as that comes up, I'll put it up on here. But that's great, man. You got beating that shit is tough. Okay. I've known people that deal with that stuff. I'm not one of them. And what the hell happened to the stream? Okay, okay, sorry guys, I don't know what the hell happened with that. I think my computer just kind of skipped on us. I hope everybody's good. Anyway, that one's for you, Doug. That's awesome, man. It's awesome fighting that stuff. And we got down here with the Guardians saying,
greetings, mortals and other assorted beings.
Oh, that laugh hurts my throat. Okay. Lena says, I don't know about that. You speak a lot about mixing human genetics with aliens. That includes making more children. Depends on the story. Just like with, sorry. God damn. Wow. I need more caffeine. My brain just had a heart attack. With ambush predators. The only reason they could actually have children is because both of them had been genetically altered. And that's in that story in particular. A lot of times the folks get together, but they don't actually stay together. It's kind of or they don't actually have children. That's just the way it is. And by the way, Guardian, don't worry about it. Do not worry about it at all. As far as the donation stuff, I'm not going to sit here and beg. I appreciate everything, but I'm not going to sit here and beg. You guys do what you can. And for some reason, we're losing eyes like crazy. Did the stream... hold on, let me scroll down to the bottom here. Did the stream just take a shit? You guys got to let me know. Is the stream actually up and running? Because this is starting to freak me the fuck out. So maybe go.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Hopefully everybody's back. Okay, stream is good. Okay. It was just on my side. Sorry about that, guys. It was just yeah, it kind of on this side it it froze, and for some reason I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
What that is an SS Demon with a $20 super chat. And he says, hey, everybody, miss y'all. Sin, I replied to your email. I appreciate your advice and haven't taken it into account. Hold on. But I was asking your permission for something, so I'll wait for your reply. Again, miss being there for the live stream to go tonight. As far as permissions, I'm going to double check I don't remember you asking me permission for something. All I said was make sure your stuff is good. Again, I personally believe that the Unknown Fleet is more Demon's baby than it is mine. He was the one who came up with it first. I am the editor and narrator. That's pretty much it. Now, he gave me the basic designs and stuff, and I worked with it, and he actually created the whole PAI portion at the end, which kind of tied everything in a nice little bow. And that being said, he's making another one and taking his time doing it. I will double check for the permission thing. I don't know if I either I missed something or I haven't got that email yet. But I appreciate you, Demon. I very much do. And I hope everybody drops them some love. I very much appreciate you guys do. And you got War Sniper with multiple screens. Show off. I won't have multiple screens till I move downstairs when the new office is finished. And once again, thank you, Demon. And let me scroll back up here to roughly where I was. That's somewhere around here. Lena saying, Jedi always knew who the other Sith were. They're just lazy. Well, the Sith cloud everything. Yes, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and freak the hell out about that one. But anyways, let's see. So War Sniper says, wait, did my 2 emails of the capital ship sound links, did they not work? I need to go back and double check, man. I need to go back and double check. Don't send me anything else until I double check. Okay. If you guys are on Discord, I will send back to you to let you know what's going on. I'm trying to get to the point where I check my Discord first thing in the morning and also right after lunch, so I don't miss you guys. As you know, Wednesday's my busy day, to include getting ready for this. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to write because I was too busy chucking hay bales today. So yeah, nothing's going to be coming out tonight. Tomorrow night, hopefully I'll have something fresh for you guys. I'm actually trying to work out one of the small details so it doesn't sound stupid. But, or I should say, oh, there's a but on screen already. I didn't even pull it off. If you guys got any one-off story ideas, I'm all ears. I still have everything written down. I'll be going through it. And there's Lena saying about my writing patterns. Yeah, well, the thing is, like I was saying before, you got to subvert expectations. And I know a few of you out there are actually writing books. It's very important that you actually change the expectation. Like, throw people for a loop. When something was going to happen, just something not going to happen. If you thought somebody for sure was going to live, kill them off. You know, if you thought for sure something was diffused or something, find some an explosive you didn't see. You know, something to just shake the shit out of people with. And hopefully, like I said, if I'm doing too many patterns, you guys got to let me know. That's one of the reasons I don't mind having the Discord up. It did take me a long time to actually set it up. And I know Ava's going to be a little pissed at me, but I mean, it is what it is. Guard says, so you gotten the video of the tank I'm using this firing out a shell like every 2 seconds. It's an experimental, but it had several models built. So I'm going to have to go. Literally, I just took these. I saved them straight to the media assets for tonight. Got the volume cranked all the way up, and they're going. I don't even go. But hey, don't get me wrong. I appreciate Guard. I do. I very much appreciate you. And I'm sure everybody else does. But who the hell wants to look at my ugly mug? I mean, you guys want to see the space combat behind me, of course. I just kind of wish I could get this thing here to be, more than just pigs in space here. I would like to get actually a video going, but that's StreamYards for you. Okay. Guard continues with, it possesses an experimental autoloader that is downright criminal with how fast it was. Sadly, if I'm correct, it only had like 6 prototypes ever built, which 2 of which worked, but barely. If I remember correctly, it was something along the lines of the barrels self-destructing after a few shots because the explosive force of the shells like them. Shells packed one hell of a punch. Well, that's kind of what they're supposed to do. Alan's up here says, Sin, all things considered, you do well with all you've written. Well, thank you very much. With all things considered, see, this is why I need you guys' help, because it's not all I can consider. It's you guys helping me out too, which is kind of the point. That's why it says in Discord syntax, all original stories. It's not by any type of AI bullshit. It's all of people actually working together here. I did look that up, War Sniper, as far as that particular soundbite on the ones I usually go to, and nothing. So don't take it personal. I'll look again. It's possible that I missed something. It is possible. I'm not perfect by any stretch. Guards here. God, STRV DT42 has a good gun, but Jesus Christ, I can't stand its tortoises or tortures of elevation. Or its torches or elevation? Are you talking about search and traverse? You talking about traverse, right? Traverse and elevation? Not tortoises. It feels like you have a grandpa at a crank. Okay, yeah. Actually, that was one of the big things in World War II. The other side, I can't say the name, with the Tiger tank. The Tiger tank's turret turned very, very, very slow. I mean, it was just a beast, and it had to be because with turret moving that slow, it takes forever to get time on target. Although that's actually the wrong phrase because that's a naval phrase, time on target. Okay, Guard says, not to mention its AP rounds may have good penetration, but no high explosive filler, which means you're not going to do damage half the time. You're not going to do any
emotional damage.
Oh, you might scare him a little bit. I'm liking that button, by the way. I just loaded that today. Let's see. Kill one dude, then get one tapped. Yeah. I mean, they don't, I'm pretty sure they don't have the same thing with the kinetic rounds now. If I was to shoot a kinetic round from an Abrams, an actual depleted uranium round, through even just part of the hull or the turret, the air pressure change would not only throw you to the other side, a half a seconds later, it's going to try and suck you out of a hole the size of a quarter. So, yeah. Even if you survive that, you're not going to want to move. And he says, and another thing that pisses me off in War Thunder is how sometimes they'll have tanks with machine guns on them, but they can't even use them. Yeah, the one thing, how do I put this? They actually had to nerf a lot of War Thunder, World of Tanks, World of Warships, and stuff like that, because a lot of when they put out a new, say they put out the F-16, and you got people actually getting the throttle and the flaps and everything else lined up, and they're watching these guys play, or they're playing themselves, and they got actual pilots going, no, it doesn't do that. It banks at this speed and this angle and this, that. You turn this off for this to happen and this, that. They actually had to put it out to everybody. Stop giving classified information to a video game developer. And I could see why they're nervous. And by the way, I'm not even joking about that. I still remember when it became a thing because I didn't play War Thunder. And suddenly I'm having to read something about, hey, don't tell these guys exactly what our weapons can and can't do. So for a ground pounder like me, it wasn't a big deal yet. Let's see. Guard says, like how almost every KV-1, which is a beast, by the way, most of the models have a machine gun on the back of the turret you can't use. Why? Why model it if you can't use it? That's a good question. That's like when they brought out the original Mad Cat, also known as a Timberwolf, in Battletech. I still remember turning on the rear camera in Mech Warrior 2 thinking I got rear friggin' facing rockets or missiles. And I'm like, where the fuck are they? I'm literally arming the LRMs, but they're firing forward into my own guys. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So, yeah. Lena says, were you writing Warhammer 40K? I tried. I did once. I believe it's called Angels or something like that. Not Angels with shotguns. That's a different one. But it was quite literally about a trio of Sisters of Battle that stumbled onto a basically out of the way. I don't want to say solar system, but it's like a sector, a small sector, maybe about the size of, say, our star out to about maybe Jupiter. And that's about it. and they had to figure out what the hell is going on. And a bunch of folks like, we didn't want to be part of your fucking war, man. That's what we hid here. Why did you bring these other, soul sucking, blood sucking, something else sucking motherfuckers with you? And now we got to go fight these guys, and you're almost completely out of action. What the fuck is going on? Unfortunately, when I did 40K, it sucked. It straight up sucked. I did not spend the 3 or 4 months of studying I would have to be close to a canonical 40K story. I'm not that big of a fan, so I just leave it at that. I leave 40K to the 40K fans, so you guys can do it right. I will say this: I know for a fact, because everybody freaked out. The Astartes is what it was. And now they got the Fem Studies. I'm just like, and apparently they got to have like half of them because of equality. I'm like, what the fuck? It's a goddamn tabletop game. Stay with the lore. Oi. Leonard also says, I won't call humans in Mass Effect xenophobic, just humanity first. Yeah, I could see that. Most of what I was saying about people being xenophobic has to do with the actual HFY stories on YouTube in particular. That was the big one. And like I said, Brian, he got it right. It's Human Battleship. There's actually three different parts and 3 different battles to go over with that. If you guys haven't read that one, just be warned. That was before I started getting decent equipment, so the sound quality is kind of, yeah. Chris up here saying Starfleet Academy should fail for one reason alone. They don't have Japanese girls dating a tentacle monster. Shameful. Or a young Japanese girl who turns into, I don't know, a Defiant class warship or something like that. With all the shit strapped to her. So I'm sure somebody has drawn it somewhere. And I'm sure there's an actual name for the type of drawing style that is, which came out after, I think it's Azure Lane was the name of it, where all these young girls either became part plane or part boat or part something or other. Of course, I see that, and I'm like, you guys ripped off Centurions from the 1980s. If you don't remember, Man to Machine, Power Extreme. Yep. And feel free to write that one down if you have no idea what I'm talking about. And that was, oddly enough, extremely well drawn, very well thought out, and the toys were way ahead of their time. Way ahead. Actually, a lot of things back then were ahead of their time. Unfortunately, it made them expensive. But that's when the passion for the work was still there. Skips here says, I agree. It is a science fiction series. FYI, I don't care about any shout outs or recognition. You're still getting the Skip shout outs. I only care about great stories, and you do supply them. Well, here, I'm glad you enjoyed them. He also says, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to, or Lena says, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like that new Star Trek captain for her, honestly. Yeah, I looked at that and I'm just like, what the fuck? You're supposed to be somebody that people look up to, that want to emulate, not somebody they would be like, get the fuck out of my, it'd be like the guy on Babylon 5, Mr. Bester, get the hell out of my chair. I think Picard did that once. Get the hell out of my chair. Lena says, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be like, oh, I just read that. Prozac and pancakes. 40K should go full retard and make cat girls I'm going to mispronounce that. Asterias. Maybe a cat girl sister battle with the ears twitching sideways, even though there's so much noise going on during those battles that she'd blow out her eardrums. Lena's saying, weren't Sisters of Battle were supposed to be called Wives of the Emperor, and before that, Daughters of the Emperor? That make them sound better. I'm not a versed enough 40K fan to know this. Somebody would have to, if you know, by the way, put it in the comment section. Guard jumps in with, bro, the female custodian BS has got me so pissed because they just rewrote the entire lore for the custodians. And now they're rewriting massive chunks of the books involving them. Like the Horus Heresy just had an announcement of close to 17 books being rewritten to introduce the female custodians to it. Oh, man. Not just that, they're also stated that half, 50%, of course, well, actually, it should be 52% of the Legion are female. Not a small portion, half. And now they're considering rewriting Constantine's Valador's lore. Constantine is the first custodian and has held that rank for decades, and now they want to make it to where he's not the first custodian. It was an unnamed woman who became the first custodian. Oh my God, they Doctor Who'd it. They Doctor Who'd, oh my God. Oh my God, they Doctor Who'd Warhammer 40K. How, why, what, my brain hurts. I
am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
I really shouldn't be shocked because these morons went in there and sweet babied the entire goddamn franchise. It's just, oh man. He continues, thank you, Amazon, for digging your grubby little rat claws in another franchise I loved and ruining it first. The Witcher, now this. Like, Jesus Christ. All we ever wanted was for the Sisters of Battles and the Sisters of Silence to get more love and attention. But instead, they destroy the entire faction for the message. I got to find a way to do that. To do that alternation so I don't have to lean that close. But yeah, what in the... they Doctor Who'd it. Oh, Jesus. For anybody who hasn't heard how Doctor Who is, apparently the Doctor was maybe the last one of his kind, her kind, whatever. But apparently that whole regeneration thing was stolen from a prepubescent female of color of another species. In other words, negating everything the Doctor was, crumpling it into a little ball, and then putting all the lore together, winding up real tight, and shoving it up their own asses. Why'd they do that? Because they found it fun. Oh, yeah. Just what the... Oh, and here he is continuing with, and some of my friends don't seem to understand that either. They keep bringing up the tabletop, but I have told them multiple times, I don't do the goddamn tabletop. I read the books in lore. And then they want to pull the whole card up. Well, I'm not into Warhammer, or I don't know that much about it, so this doesn't affect me. Okay, whatever, but it affects me. God damn. Look, I don't play the Battletech tabletop for the simple reason is I don't have that much time and money to put into it. Pure and simple, I don't. It's just, I mean, I like Battletech. I read all the, when you're deployed, you'll read anything. I read series, literally book after book after book after book after book during my downtime. When I get my hands on them, of course. And yeah, I'm fairly well versed in it. Could I tell you exactly what year, what happened? Not really. I know it's like 3059 was the Klan invasion. That's about it. Okay, Chris is up here. A little Prozac and pancakes action. He says, if you want passion in a song that has meaning and truth, then look at the 1958 pop song by Jimmy Soul. If you want to be happy, you're welcome. If you want to be happy, you're welcome, and I'm sorry. You know what? I'm going to have to write that down because I don't know what that is. Hold on. 1958. Who's this? Jimmy Soul. I know the name. All right, I'll look that up. 'Cause, I mean, hell, think of Ghostbusters 2 when they played Aretha Franklin. She put so much goddamn passion into her fucking songs. It was crazy. Ugh. And here's Leonid. Apparently, he's seen this whole thing from Britain. He says, "Thank you, Britain, for creating Amelia video game character. She is now she is the new Peppy Frog, or what is that what it is? Peppy Frog? Pepe? Papoo? I don't know, whatever. Starts with a P. It's a P-E-P-E. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce it. Anyway, she's the new frog. And the thing is, somebody made the perfect point. If they didn't want her to be the new sign of the opposing team or the new mascot, all they had to do was put a nose knocker in and add maybe 60 pounds to her. Done. So anyways, yeah, propaganda fail at best. Yeah, it does. Yeah, they did mess up big by making her a cute goth girl. Now, goth can be cute. You just got to be careful they don't push into the emu territory. I've actually dated a goth girl, but seriously, I actually had to tell her, look, we're going to the pool. Get rid of the makeup. But it's part of my identity. Your identity is about to get washed down the filter and it's going to piss everybody off. Go wipe that shit off. She loves, I mean, she outswam me easy. I mean, of course, she didn't have all the fur that's on this person and she was a lot sleeker than me, but my God, she was just fit. And, of course, she must put 6 miles on the treadmill every single day. At least she used to. I don't know what the hell happened to her. But yeah, we just kind of had it out on that one. Let's see. But yeah, the whole goth thing, they really botched that up. Lena says, yeah, people really like Amelia. She accidentally became a traditional character. Yep. She's not even immodestly. I mean, I wouldn't say she's modestly dressed, but she's not immodestly dressed. She's dressed enough. She's dressed up like she's going to go clubbing or something, but not clubbing as in I'm going to go hook up with every guy in town, just kind of hanging out clothes. Purple dress. And you know what that reminds me of? Tripping the Rift with Captain Chode, where he's about to fight. You want some, lady? I got a purple belt. And she's like, in what? As she's extending her freaking fingernails. He's like, it's in my closet with my purple suit. It goes with my purple pants and my purple tie. Oh, shit. Okay. Chris says, if piracy is so wrong, then why do the Somalians do it? I mean, seriously, we can trust them. Right? Just look how many daycares they have with 0 child complaints. I'm going to try and stay away from this one, Chris, but that's fucking funny. That's, you know what? Do I have a button specifically for that? The closest I got is this one.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Guard says, oh yeah, UK's whole entire anti-patriot game that ended up just making more people patriotic in the UK. Yeah, they're pissed. They're generally pissed. What they did is the wrong thing. They pushed everybody into a corner, and just like any other cornered animal, somebody's going to attack. Pure and simple. It is what it is. Guard says, that's still funny, and how they made it as the way that to make people not be more patriotic and allowed their country to pretty much be rewritten only for people to become more patriotic and against it. Yeah. Let's see. Guard says, oh, and you think that's bad. If you failed the game at all, you would either have police show up at your front door or you would receive a letter for a pre-registered therapy appointment. Are you fucking me? I don't think you're fucking with me. I think you're telling me the truth. I wouldn't doubt it. They were straight up monitoring the game and pretty much telling you that if you answer this, you're going to be sent police and you're going to be automatically given to a what the fuck? Now, I do know here in the US, a lot of times, if you see a therapist one time for even a consult to see if you want to have them as a therapist, you can actually have a lot of your rights revoked. In particular, your Second Amendment right is one that a lot of people were going at a few years back. And especially around 2012, 2013-ish. And yeah, somebody just very, very nicely on the cameras just looked at the police department and said, by the way, you might want to look who's showing up. And it was his buddy who was the sheriff in the entire sheriff's department, said, get the fucking cuffs off of him. Oh, but he saw a therapist. We have to do this. No, you don't. There was no call for domestic violence. You're breaking the law. Get the fuck out of here. I don't know. You guys gonna have to remind me what state that was in. But that was just one of many, many instances. Guardian says, yeah, it's annoying when they neuter female characters that have been established as have nice titties. Do I have a... Yeah, no shit. It's terrible when they do that. It's just, why? I mean, look at the old Left 4 Dead, or not Left 4 Dead. God damn it. It's the old arcade game. I'm trying to remember which one it was. And they literally had shaking physics. We used to call it the jiggle factor. Every time the woman stopped, they would just sit there and shake for another like 20 seconds. And it's just like, why would you go against that? It's what got people to spend money. Besides, it's escapism, not real life. I didn't see this. Guard continued, and this wasn't just for adults. This ranged from 11-year-old all the way to 19-year-olds getting in this. Oh my God. Really? Really? That just, that's so much it makes my teeth hurt. Just, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't, you know what? I need a break. I need to randomly see something explode. Where can I see something explode? How about...
Armor piercing. Loaded. Anchor. 12 o'clock. Right back.
All right, as my thing here jumped. I don't know why the fuck it jumped so bad. Sorry, I just had to reset. I was trying to do something in the background, and working on one screen apparently is being a real pain in the dick. Erica says, let us know when you publish. I'm kind of bad at that, but I'm going to try and get more on the Discord as far as making sure that goes on there, to let you guys know what's coming up. And I'll even throw the thumbnail in. Let's see. There's Doug saying, remember there's a colossal CME hitting the planet. Really? At the moment. Okay. Well, that would explain a lot. It's, as far as I'm concerned, that does not explain the cell phone towers going out across the U.S., especially down the East Coast, in particular Verizon. That has the telltale markings of a cyber attack. Absolute thing. Okay, Guardian says, with regards to Star Trek Academy, the series takes place in the farthest future that any Star Trek show has taken. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Farther than Star Trek STD. The latest ship captain commands a ship that was serving as the Academy, but has been downgraded to just a training ship. So in other words, she got demoted and now doesn't give a shit, but they can't fire her for reasons. I could see that. Worst Number says, I will poke you with the sound I want you to use on Discord only. I really have no idea how to find the sound file of it. Yeah, don't worry about the sound file. I'll recheck my stuff. Don't beat yourself up over it, War Sniper. Let's see. Douglas says, there is one story I came across reading some history of World War II. The Philippine guerrillas used to use blowguns with poison on Japanese sentries. Yep. And ever since that story came out and was verified, they've been using it in so many movies. That's where they got in the neck and all of a sudden they go, oh. That's the reason they would aim for the side of the neck is that if they could nick the carotid artery, that poison goes straight up to the brain in like a second. So by the time their hand reaches up, the poison's already inside the brain and everything just starts to shut down. Whether it puts them to sleep or actually kills them will depend on what they used, but it's pretty powerful shit. Let's see. Guardian says, as such, Star Trek Academy is not quite as bad as you think, but is effectively a trashy high school rom-com. See, the thing is that goes against everything that, I said you don't mess with the lore, and I'm going to go into that now. Me personally, I did not enjoy Deep Space Nine. Okay. However, when certain characters were on there, they did such a good job, you couldn't help but enjoy it. And one of them was pretty much everybody with the big ears. The uncle and the nephew. They did really good. And the nephew, he did his own version of a bar mitzvah, whatever the hell they want to call it. And he wanted to become part of Starfleet Academy. Well, the captain kind of chewed him out like, you can't handle the workload. You don't have the discipline. It's going to be really tough. You don't know what you're getting into, this, that, and the other thing. And they did this whole thing about how it's going to be tough, how it's going to be hard. And now we're finding out it's basically high school. I hated high school. If I could have, I would have graduated early just to get the fuck out of there. It's all I could do, not to sit on the sides and not grab my radio and goes, fire mission at X-ray Zulu, give the coordinates and drop fucking rounds on that piece of shit. I wouldn't care if somebody freaking killdozered the place. I hated it so much. And now they have it on Star Trek. Why the fuck would I watch Star Trek? Anyway, War Sniper says, Sin, to be honest, you're the first out of 2 live streamers that has held my interest. Every VTuber and other anime character VTubers have lost my interest while watching these live streams. Okay. Hey, I'm glad I can keep your interest. I mean, we've been going for about an hour and a half. I'm not even down with my soda yet, although this cola kind of tastes like shit. Usually it's used as mix. Lena says, usually I don't want to recommend watching Oshinoko anime. Oshinoko, why does that sound familiar? But if you want to watch the dark anime, the first 90 minutes episode would give you a whiplash. Oh, you want dark as in gonna twist your friggin' nose, your nuts, and your heart at the same time. Goblin Slayer, man. The first episode. Holy fuck. I warned somebody about that. He's 20 plus years old. I said, dude, you are going to just be changed forever after seeing this. He's like, no, it's just fine. I watch this stuff all the time. I said, it's okay. He got done. I talked to him a few days later. He's like, dude, I am so fucked up. Yeah. Duh. Anyway, back to War Sniper. He says, and both of us actually show our face, who the face is behind the YouTube channel. Oh, correction, 3 live streamers and all 3 male. Okay, well, male, female doesn't matter. The thing with unfortunately, a lot of female streamers is instead of having any type of heart in what they do, they just want to sit there and go, hey, wee, and all that stuff. They try to be nice and cute, and they just start begging for money. I'm like, what do they call it? Beg talk on TikTok. Everyone's just wanting more and more cash. Ugh. Hey, Deathbed's here. How you doing? He says, late, hello to all. I like a strong female lead if she's in augment, like Honor Harrigan. Yeah. I don't know who Honor Harrigan is. But yeah, most of the times when it comes to HFY, it's an augmented human. Just like, again, in Ambush Predators, the people who were human don't mind augmenting themselves. Their extra friend showed up looking like a goddamn succubus because she thought it was cute. But she's also really, really fast and also extremely smart. Lena says, I do remember when you could use machine guns in War Thunder. Maybe you're thinking about World of Tanks? Yeah, it felt like it was the first time in Warhammer 40K Galaxy because demons are waiting to invade from the warp. War Sniper in here to correct me. He says, Azure Lane was only Boat Girl. Okay. War Sniper, Sin, how are you going to set up your Discord ranks, moderators, admin channels, and all that? I'm just getting started, man. I really never looked into deep with Discord. So I'm just now looking at all the different stuff. The thing is, they want to charge you for everything. I mean, charge a lot. And the thing is, this isn't a one-time go. This is over every few months. You got to pay for it. I'm like, really? It's kind of ridiculous. But yes, I'm working on it. Expect it to change. Rage is here saying Centurions are dope as fuck. Which type of Centurions? Are you talking about the medium mechs? Because they got that big ass friggin' AC-10 in the right arm, which by the way makes complete sense in a physics form. And by the way, this is one of the things that just drives me nuts, guys. Now, you guys know I'm a Battletech fan. A lot of people who are not Battletech fans will look at it and say, oh no, if you fire that, it's going to knock over your bipedal machine. Not if it's in the arm that literally when it fires absorbs the launch of this projectile. That's what it's in the arm. The only time you see them built into the torso is when they're, I think it's just, no. Yeah, they got to be on the high end of heavies. I think the smallest is the, I'm trying to think of it. It's the one, the Orion K, the one that Nicholas Kerensky, or no, sorry, his father, Alexander Kerensky, he actually piloted. That was the one, the smallest one I know of that had a AC actually in the torso because it was heavy enough where it wouldn't fall down when it fired. So, yeah. So if you're talking Centurion mediums, if you're talking going against other mediums and lights, the Centurion's a monster. It is an absolute freaking beast. The only problem is you lose that right arm, you better get in close quick. Let's see. Bite Me asks, how about Rex Generator? Or you mean Generator Rex? I never really saw it. I saw a couple commercials. Not something I got into. And like I keep saying, I won't comment much on something I don't know anything about. Lena here says, I really want Abhuman, Catgirl's Sister of Battle. That would be funny. Honestly, I would just love the look when she takes her helmet off and all of a sudden the ears kind of just go pop. And I think that would just be hilarious. Even if all I do is watch the cinematics, which by the way, some of the cinematics are interesting, but they lack consistency. And by that, you can always see who the main character is because somehow they could take a direct hit from a weapon that should put them on the ground. If not kill them, it should cripple them. And yet they're just shrugging this shit off. And I'm just like, yeah, no. Erica here says, I'm more of a Doom person than 40K. Well, we all know the hinty person is. Who the hint person is. Yeah, Doom guy. Yeah. Did you actually play the actual game that came out recently? Do you see how big they made the Doom guy? Jesus Christ. He makes the Master Chief look like a toddler. I'm not even joking. Arms like the size of my torso. But the thing is, supposedly that skeletal lineup actually, I'm sitting there like, I don't know. It's hard to understand there. She continues with, I thought that women can't be custodians because we're more susceptible to corruption. By the way, I'm teasing.
Swing.
Oh, wrong button. Sorry.
Giggity giggity. Giggity goo. Stick around.
War Sniper here says, you women are more susceptible to corruption. They are very corruptible when I talk to AI women online. I don't know if I want to touch that one, honestly. Oh, we're going in the social aspects here because War Sniper says, or they're all pick-me women. I don't know. Yeah, this is War Sniper. I don't know. That's the thing with the online stuff is you're not actually face-to-face, so you don't really get the extra, I don't know. Your body can't feel their biorhythm at all. So it makes it more difficult. That's why if the biorhythms actually match up right away, that's that electrical, I'm drawn to that person. So they've actually, and I say they, some scientists have actually been checking this. And sure enough, that's why they say opposites attract, just like North and South poles. The problem is a lot of times that can cause a lot of problems. Just like how do I put this? It falls in the same realm as when people talk about the Star Wars laser dildos, how the blades, the energy blades will draw each other close, but at the same time, they're trying to push away, which is why when they get close, they can't slide down and just take somebody's hand off if there's no hilt, which, of course, is something that has been totally messed up. It really depends on who's swinging. Suddenly the physics works a different way. But that's the way those are supposed to work. Now, if you think of it that way, that's how the biosignatures work with each other. It may draw you in, but it also will push you apart and actually make it impossible for you to be together with that person without having major difficulties. So, I'm pulling another Zathras on that. So, Lena's here says, I have decided to start watching the new Death Game anime that has been released this year called, I'm not even going to try that. The first episode is 44 minutes of cinema. Huh. I haven't even heard of it. It doesn't, this Shibuya, you know what? It's going to make me sound like I'm trying to sneeze out a fart if I try to pronounce that. So yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone. But I don't even remember seeing that on any of my feeds at all. So you're going to have to let us know if it's any good. Blake Me says, talking about ruinous change, I started playing D&D in 1982. Oh boy, I have a feeling I know where this is going. Now Hasbro has ruined it for everyone. The fans fled by the millions, and now they're crying about it. Screw them. Which is surprising. A lot of people have actually loved Dungeons and Dragons for a long time. And what is that? I mean, seriously, somebody's dropping in an extra $5 super chat, and it skips saying, FYI, in the 1960s, Doctor Who, when it came out, was amazing. Of course, there was no competition. It was the only sci-fi to be quoted by actual scientists. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. And now the thing is, if you look at the way Doctor Who is, they use a lot of fourth dimensional space. In particular, with the, if I pronounce this wrong, forgive me, the TARDIS, it If you go inside, it's a lot bigger than it actually is on the outside. That right there is part of fourth dimensional space. That's surprisingly simple physics. Which is why they say you can stuff a whole lot more in through the door. If the door opens to basically another layer of space, there could be an infinite amount of space. And that's what they're working with. So yes, they a lot of these scientists were matching all this stuff. And yeah, you're right. They were quoted by actual scientists because it was actual science. Okay, Erica, I gotta say it. Erica says, yes, I giggled at seeing the Doom guy. Sorry for making me do that. I just got a homo suspicions point for that. Okay, I went up too far. Hold on. Let me find out where in the hell I was. Okay, there it is. Deathbed question. Sings Amelia. Damn, your daddy is hell. Amelia by the mission. What? I don't get it. Is that an actual something we should be looking up, man? I'll write it down and look it up. Amelia. Damn your daddy. Oh, damn your dad. Damn your daddy to hell. Okay, well, I'll look it up to see what that's all about. Chris says the VA sent me to a shrink. Yeah, I've been sent to a few of those, especially when I went through retirement. It's kind of a requirement. I kept telling them I can't sleep worth a shit, and they're like, "Oh, you'll be fine." I'm like, "Fuck you, dude! Just because I don't have an officer rank, you're gonna treat me like that?" He continues. I was honest while making a point that I had no threat because I'm not, because I was no threat because I'm not. But after I started talking about my life, she started crying. It was strange calming her down when all I was doing was talking about my life. And that's also why I don't talk about my life to girls I date. It never goes well. Dude, preacher, choir. Okay. I get it. I get it. The only reason I ever bring up anything I did during deployment is because my dad's already spouted a few things and a few things I was trying to forget, but whatever. And sometimes you just got to get it out. But yeah, it is what it is, man. You end up doing shit you never thought possible, but you end up doing it. Anyway, let me get a drink. Lena says, I know that there are other new anime that would fit the description of the dark anime because the main character gets power from the cursed weapons. The protagonist is female hero. She gets betrayed by her party members and then gets sold into slavery. Okay, now that I remember seeing that title I don't know if it was a manga or an anime or what, but yes, I do remember seeing. I did not see the actual title. I didn't actually look it up because I just don't have time to sit and watch the stuff. But I mean, it is what it is. I am glad that there are a lot of ones that came out, primarily isekai, but not all of them, that are from mangas that are from like 10 years ago. And these are actually good ones. So again, if they don't screw it over, these are going to be quite good. Chris says the phones going down had nothing to do with this, with a cyber attack. Really? I'm not at liberty to say why it happened, but it was for good reason. Think Minneapolis, Scarface, and the war we fought in being stopped. Or war, yeah. Yeah, okay. I'll leave that one alone because I think I know where you're going on that one. And you're right, not exactly YouTube friendly. And Joe's here. Hey, how you doing? Gart says, I find it funny when people get pissed off at characters in video games for the simple reason no jiggle physics. I don't mind it not having jiggle physics. I just hate it when it had the physics and then they took it out. Just like I hate when they change one character who made a lot of sense to someone who doesn't. Case in point, Halo Wars. Okay. You had Serena, the AI, who was not bad to look at for a digital image, but she was smart. She was a little bit snarky. And she actually seemed to give a shit about the crew, not just herself. Then they decided to totally get rid of her and bring in some androgynous, looks like they should be at Burning Man or something, thing, who has surprisingly mental problems and decides to take command from the captain because she's not snarky, she's not funny or anything like that. She's just a bitch. And yeah, it's when they change shit. Like, if they had something good and they fucked it up, that's when it pisses me off. Just like we were talking about 40K, you guys told me D&D is gone. It's like, what the hell? Can't we ever have nice things anymore? But I digress. Lena says, Oshi no Ko is an anime about the Japanese idol. Used to be very popular until the manga ended in 2024 with a controversial ending that split the fandom. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't even read Leon yet because I see that Guard here actually continued. He said, after the jiggle physics, he says, and then you have the body and community that comes in clutch by power sliding into the game with a mod that immediately gives them jiggle physics until they either bend the knee or do it or not. Yeah. They got sweet babied. And also, you guys want a seriously dark and twisted fucking anime to watch? School Days. Wow. Just wow. By the end, if you're not sitting there screaming, just screaming.
What? What the fuck?
It just something's not right. Let's see. Joseph is clearing things up as he says, Honor Harrington is a female captain in a sci-fi series. It's based off a tactical game. Okay. See, Lena's here. Cal Shipyards has been talking about the Space Truckers movie for almost 3 episodes on his channel, and I thought you've seen. I saw the movie. You know what? Now I'm going to have to look him up because I like Sacred Cow Shipyards. I think they do a really good job. He misses on a few small things when he gets away from the ships, because he was a Navy guy, just like many of you guys are. And for me, learning about the ship stuff, especially when it goes to historical things, I enjoy the shit out of that because I don't know. However, when he gets on ground pounding stuff, he can miss the mark a little bit. Just like if I tried to do something about ships, I can cover basics. Okay, I can do a review of, say, a Helldiver's destroyer, frigate, whatever the hell you want to call it, his PT boat, his personal transport. I could do a complete breakdown of that from an outside perspective, but I wouldn't be anywhere near as good as you guys, as Navy guys. Not even close. You guys could really break it down. However, like I said, it's the other way around. You got to get the subject matter expert, and like I said, Shipyards does a really good job. Again, I'm just going to write my note here. SCS. Okay. So I can look that up. Alan says that actually Harrington's series is based on Admiral Hornblower of the 18th century. Why does that sound familiar? You know what? I'm going to have to redo that because I remember hearing about that. Let's see. Rage says Centurion Mech is one of my faves. I was talking about the show, though. You know what? I'm so out of the loop when it comes to shows because I just don't have the time to watch any. I'm just at a loss. Lena says, usually truckers can't own the cargo they're transporting because it's owned by someone else, which is true. I hope that ship owners get paid. Yeah, I hope so too. That's actually right there. I gotta hold on. I got to pump the brakes, and you know, it makes me wish I had a button for screaming the brakes. Pull the air brake and everything on this. When you guys are dealing with any of your sci-fi, especially you guys who are making them, if you're making any type of science fiction story, you have to decide what the currency is. Because once you get into something like molecular assemblers, which we all know as replicators from the Trekkie Treks, then cash, precious metals, things like that mean absolutely fuck all. Okay. Now they have a workaround on that with Star Trek by having their gold press platinum. So that's their way of working at it. When I'm trying to remember the story I did where if you trade in food, it is a huge deal. Actual organic, real food that will act. It's like a half a dozen tomatoes, fresh tomatoes will get you a new ship. I mean, that's how important it is to get fresh food, or how pricey it is. And the main character made it a point to have not only hydroponics, but a standard garden area. So he could get his fresh food for him and his crew. But that was one of those, a lot of times I personally will talk about like credits or something of that nature. It really depends. You guys got to really watch that, because business is business. But if the actual cargo is the payment, is the money, because it's being traded, you can't afford to lose it. That's like having or driving an armored truck and then dumping all the pallets of cash out the back. It doesn't make sense. Why in the hell would you do that? You're going to not only lose your job, but you get to the other end, they're going to be like, well, you're going to compensate us for that. We're going to take your truck. In science fiction case, they're going to take your ship. You really got to watch that, which is why every time I do a cargo hauler, they do not like being pirated. It's just, their life will be over if you take their cargo. Even if they get away with their ship's going to be impounded and their life is going to be over. They're going to owe people money for the rest of their life. So they're better off just taking the detonator, go, come on board, motherfucker. Click, boom. Go full, Donager from The Expanse, go full Donager on their ass. So anyway, Leonid, I have a feeling that as far as the who owns what in the cargo moving when it comes to moving through space is going to be very similar, but it is going to be different. There'll be some obvious differences. LSE Guard says, on other news, I know it's political. Hold on. Magic word time. But this is important. Canada is currently training its own civilian populace and guerrilla warfare for the incoming American imperial attack. First off, we're not imperial. We don't have plastic white uniforms. Secondly, I saw something about that, and there's a lot of them that are saying, you know what, we're going to turn our weapons on the other way, dumbass, because they're done. And the kicker is, even though it would be a slog through a lot of areas, and one sniper can stop an armored column if they know what they're doing, it's, how do I put this? It's still a losing proposition. And I say that just because if you just look at the numbers, Canada has about, 30 some odd fighter aircraft at a time? Then that's if they had every single one functioning. We got several thousand. We can just overrun their ass and just fill their sky with aircraft. And yeah, we don't want the fight. And the fact of the matter is, several provinces want to be part of the U.S. The problem is, if they break away and become part of the U.S., then they got a fucking civil war in Canada, and then we're going to have to actually go up there, send our guys in Arctic gear. You don't want to do that shit this time of year. Who the fuck wants to fight a war in the middle of winter? I mean, I know how. By the way, it's not as easy as you think. You think, oh, everyone's just hunkered down. No, motherfucker. It is so much more difficult to hide, especially when you got FLIR, which is the thermal gear. They can see you from a long way off, unless you know what you're doing. And the only people who have been able to actually truly outfight everybody in the winter is the Norwegians. Winter war anybody. So, and the fact of the matter is, once the power goes out, if you cut the power, especially nowadays, in the middle of winter, sure, you're going to have plenty of holdouts in the middle of, say, in the deep woods of British Columbia, or I'm trying to remember the other ones. So it's like Squinario or something like that. But you know, their capital cities will just, if they go dark, so many people would just beg for help very, very quickly. It's the same thing here. If the power went out in New York City in the middle of winter, we'd be so fucked. It's not even funny. By the time we even got our guys up there to help anybody out, they'd be all frozen to death. It'd be terrible. All right. You know what? Let's blow it. Yeah, I just had to take a break from that. I just, and by the way, I'm not giving shit. I'm not giving any flack to the folks up in Canada. Okay. When defending your own land, you are never to be underestimated. Pure and simple. If you underestimate your enemy, you are fucked, and not in a fun way. All right. Lena says, well, in Warhammer 40K Galaxy Space, elves created demons of pleasure because they were bored. Before that, traveling in the warp was supposed to be very safe. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Let's see. Warsniver says, I would love to do Dungeons and Dragons one day. I miss it. I have never actually played D&D. I don't even know. I know how people play. I've just never done it. Guard saying, I'm never buying lunch meat from Kroger again. They still put the goddamn rats that meat is supposed to be in wrapped around meat when they cut it. All I wanted was 2 salami sandwiches. Now I got a pile of that. Wrap, not rat. That's what it is. And let's see, string that the salami is usually wrapped in, and a bad attitude because I wanted to eat 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I'd be pissed off too if you just can't bite into it or actually even chew it. Let's see, Lena jumping in saying, the anime is called I Play the Death Game for a Living. The anime starts with adapting Death Game number 28 with girls dressed as maids trapped in the house with lethal traps. So basically you're playing Saw the game. Got it. Sounds interesting. Guardian says you have been fined 1 credit for violation of the verbal morality statute. I can't even say that straight. I'm trying not to crack up while saying this. You have been fined 1 credit for violation of the verbal morality statute. Yeah, I can get through it. I'm still. Every time they do that joke on Grunt Speak, I'm laughing because I think Judge Dredd is just a guilty pleasure type of movie, even though there's a lot more reality in it than people gave it. And because it's a double joke at the same time with the guy who's the captain of the SS Gay Cruise or whatever the hell it is, then it's just funny. It is just funny, but you gotta know the backstory, or else it's going over your head. Okay, Lena says some of the traps are designed to be like they came from the movie Saw. Okay, so I was right. Saw in a show. It's very brutal. Okay. War Sniper up here saying, Sin, could you do a one-off story? Hold on. Let me get the pen so I can write this down. Okay, getting all my notes here this time. One-off story of humanity reaching the stars where, okay. Humanity in stars. While they go, okay. Wow. Gov is dictator ship. Okay. And that's all you want? Okay, yeah, that was kind of what I was hinting at with Trade Wars. A little bit on that. Also, they're not human anymore, or they're not considered human anymore. That was kind of hinted at. I didn't, pound the nail on the head. I kind of danced around it. But yeah, that's pretty much where it was go. I can do more directly on that. That's not a problem at all. That's actually pretty easy. I was actually trying to stay away from that, but yeah, I'd do that tomorrow. I should have time to do it tomorrow. Today was busy as fuck, but I should be good for tomorrow. Let's see. Guard here saying, well, now I can sit here and have a blast eating a slimy sandwich, listening to Syntax, yeah, and playing Star Wars, The Force Unleashed 2. I know the game got a lot of flack compared to the first game, but I don't really care. It's fun in my eyes. Hey, if you enjoy it and it's not hurting anybody, who the fuck cares? And all the rest of them can kiss the darkest part of your ass repeatedly. Joseph here saying, David Weber based the story of the Starfire campaign he ran with the other sci-fi folks. The character is influenced by Hornblower, but the story is based on their campaign. That's actually interesting. Yeah, there have been some very, very, very interesting people throughout history. I mean, extremely. Now, they say everybody has a story. Some of them are actually book-worthy. And that falls into the whole thing. And this is something I remember from when I was a kid. And this is one of the reasons why I joined the Army. I shouldn't say it made me. It kind of shoved me in the direction. It said, it's an old commercial. It said, if somebody wrote a book about your life, would anybody want to read it? It's a good motivator right there. All right, Lena says, the anime also shows that the bodies are preserved with technology that turns blood into the foam that seals wounds. So your blood turns into a biofoam? Interesting. That's actually, they've been working on biofoam for a long time. And by the way, I call it that because that's what Halo calls it. And if you played ODST, when they shoved the tip in and they kind of sealed them up, that was a biofoam. It's supposed to slowly break down in the body. That is an actual technology. There's one problem. When the foam breaks down, it doesn't just slowly break down into minute particles. Sometimes larger particles break off and go into the bloodstream. Particles big enough to give you a heart attack or a fucking stroke. So that's why it's not used. It's not safe. You're better off just hitting the wound with some super glue, squeezing it together real hard and just holding it there, which, by the way, I've had to do with a few people. It fucking works. I keep some in my aid bag all the time. Unfortunately, this stuff does have a half-life, so you got to swap it out. Guard says, speaking of sisters have battle in anime. I think I missed a part there. Speaking of sisters have battle anime, if you guys know about the Horse Girl anime that I refuse to pronounce, the name is because I got canker sores trying to say it in arthritis, trying to type it. Wow, it must be a long name. Somebody just had to make 2 functional sisters of battle models for two of the characters being Goldship and her daughter, and they're making their rounds in the Warhammer community in a good way. Because by God, they're receiving some overwhelming positivity. Okay, I think those are two separate comments. Oh, no, no, that's similar. Okay, Warsnumber says, the dictatorship one-off is more reality for us at this moment with all the shit that's going on. Well, yeah, the thing with dictatorships is it's pretty obvious who the one who's in charge is. There's no behind the shadows shit going on. We have too much shadow government shit going on because they learned a long time ago they have to stay in the shadows or somebody's going to want their heads, you know. Erica says, I like realistic jiggle physics or realistically exaggerated jiggle physics. You want to see exaggerated jiggle physics? Go watch High School of the Dead. Holy fuck. As an anime, it's just, I mean, not just jiggle physics, but Matrix tits. I'm like, I wasn't the one who came up with that, by the way. I was not. But when they said Matrix tits and they actually showed the scene, I'm sitting there like, okay. Yes. If you guys know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. And also, as you know, on that same series, I like turtles. Actually, I chewed one guy out because he said that in trying to being a smartass once. I hadn't seen the show yet. And he's walking away. I like turtles. I'm like, what the fuck did you say, Private? He's like, I didn't say anything. Sorry. He was actually saying, I didn't know. Then I saw it and I'm like, oh, why'd I chew that guy out? And I see something down here. It's another $5 super chat from Skip himself. Mister, I'm still going to give you a battleship as your thumbnail. He says, if you do a female-centered story, please make her fit, but not fat, and smart, not arrogant. Also, very sarcastic, a.k.a. one of my former, I don't know that initialism, previous hot damn echo. Not that exaggerated, just slightly. Okay. Oh, so Erica, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. You know that's exaggerated. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, I'll do what I can on that. Skip, electrical engineering. Oh, PhD in electrical engineering. Okay. Now I got you. Again, I didn't know the initialism, but I get it now. But anyway, thank you again. I appreciate the super chat, and I will make sure I keep that in mind. And I keep trying not to make overly perfect characters. It's very easy to do that. They have to have some sort of flaw. You can't make them too perfect, or else they just it doesn't work. That's a good one, War Sniper. No, we can't have nice things. Every nice thing costs money. Or I would say it costs a lot. Now, like I have a nice thing downstairs. It's called a wood stove. That means I don't have to run the heater in this house, which means I save $800 a year minimum on propane. By the way, guys, the cost of propane is about to spike again. So anyways, yeah. But sometimes you can actually make a nice thing, but it's going to cost you time to build it. You will own nothing and be happy mindset. Yeah, okay. That's a giant no on my part. It's bad enough now that I have to pay taxes on my fucking car since I moved to this fucking state. They officially own my car until I move out of this state, and then I can tell them to fuck off. So, yeah, that the wonders of taxes. Okay, Chris says the new anime season of your favorite show Gate is going to be Navy focused. Yep, from what I hear, I hear that too. All I'm saying is if there's no village people, but they are in the Navy, why not? And I refuse to actually have anything for them on my soundboard. I refuse, absolutely fucking refuse. But then again, how are they supposed to interact with a lot of people if they're going to be naval focused? And not to mention, how the hell are they going to get a Navy ship from that gate that's fixed? It's a fixed position on a hill on dry land to the ocean. Are they going to ship it in pieces and reassemble it? I don't know what the hell they're going to do, because it sounds like what they're doing, they're grasping at straws. They're going to take a premise and they're going to screw it up. And case in point, I'll give you a perfect example for this. Between Band of Brothers and the Pacific, okay? Band of Brothers is a true classic. It follows this unit. Easy Company, 501st, follows them. Okay, you're invested. These characters, they're in. That's good. You're in there. You're following the whole way. It's all good. It was a great miniseries. Then you look at the Pacific and it bounces all over the fucking place. You don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't care what they do in their off time. I don't care who they're fucking. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. Show me the in-combat stuff like Band of Brothers. Follow one group. I don't care if they're taking Peleliu. I don't care if they're taking Okinawa. I don't care if they're taking Guadalcanal. I don't give a shit. But follow this one group the entire way, because they didn't do that. They fucked it up. Masters of the Air, they did the same thing. They followed the bomber pilots, which was fine, and then they suddenly shipped it over to the fighter pilots. Why? This is supposed to be about the bomber pilots, you fuckers. I got nothing against the fighter pilots, okay? There were some badass motherfuckers back in the day, but that's not why I'm watching this fucking series. Or trying to watch the series. It's bad enough that I have to get a buddy of mine, go over his place to try and watch it. But the thing is, as soon as they brought in the fighter pilots, we both did the same thing. We're done. Click. Didn't even care how the series ended. We're done. You stick with one group and you keep going. Stop fucking with what works. Okay, that's enough of me going down the
slip space rupture
and going here. Let's see. Lena says Star Trek still has gold currency, so in my mind, the ability to use really fast 3D printers mean nothing. In Star Trek, a lot of people value personal items and gifts and treat like irreplaceable. Yeah, that's true. Because anything else, you got free food, you got free clothing, you got free housing, whatever the fuck you want it. You know, it's just absolutely crazy. And so what you would want is something you cannot actually get replaced, the real deal. So yeah, holding on to a baseball or baseball card, or your favorite type of pen that you've had since a kid, or something silly like that. Or maybe a certain musical instrument that you learned on. Yeah, you would want to keep that as much as you can, especially since, here's the fun part that they don't talk about, the Trekkie Treks, with that sort of technology, you're living for centuries. They don't want to say that, but that's it. You are living for quite literally centuries. In all honesty, with that level of technology, growing old is a fucking choice. Pure and simple. Pure and motherfucking simple. So what would they want? They would want something that keeps them grounded, that holds them, that reminds them who they are. And I fully understand that. I would never, ever pull that away, because every single sci-fi needs to do the exact same thing to a point. Now, as far as gold currency, again, it's gold pressed latinum. Okay. They use gold as kind of a container. There's actually a liquid in there. That's the only thing that the nanofiber mechanical replicator thingy mababa can't make. Okay. Pull myself up. Okay. I'm back here. Let's see. Also, Skip, before I forget, if you want an actual sound effect, you got to let me know. Okay? The closest I got is here for Sir. Oh, goddamn, that's loud.
General quarters, all hands man your battle stations. Set material conditions Zebra throughout the ship. Make Zebra report to DC Central.
And I was actually able to use that in one of the stories as well. We haven't seen Sir in a long time, though. Anyways, let me just adjust here. Leon says, are you sure Americans shouldn't just build McDonald's in Greenland? I would go with Chick-fil-A myself. You do know that we have mobile Burger Kings that we can literally drop off anywhere in the world in about 30 hours, right? I'm not even joking. All they got to do is stock the food and drive it onto a C-130, which, again, takes, what, an hour or two? Let's see. Chris says, Canada's surface warship fleet is 32 ships. Their biggest ships are 15 frigates. They have 0 attack helicopters and around 75 to 80 tanks, mostly Leopard 2s. Leopard 2 is not something to scoff at. That's actually a pretty good piece of machinery. I've actually been in Germany and watched them work with their equipment. Their APC is so quiet. Oh my God. If it wasn't for the fact that you could hear like the undergrowth crunching, you wouldn't even know it was there. No joke. I heard them moving and I was the observer controller, so I had to wear some extra stuff so they knew it was me. And I could hear it, and I walked up, and I'm just like right next to them, like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" One guy could speak English. Like, "How'd you find us?" I could hear you. You can't hear our engine. I said, "No, I could hear your tires." And he literally just looked down and realized what I was saying. He's like, "Oh," and of course he starts yelling in German. I don't know what the fuck he was saying, but I was like, "Guys, this," and we actually sat there and talked for a while, and I complimented them on their machinery. I would have loved if our Bradleys or Strikers are that quiet, especially the Strikers, man. They're much quieter than the Bradleys, but the Strikers are definitely not that quiet. Okay, Lena says, well, you're not supposed to steal from the Vikings, and Greenland is supposed to be a Viking territory. Wait a minute, are they going to dig to Valhalla? See, Guardian says, Judge Dredd did that. I got it from Demolition Man. Yeah. Yeah. They also have it on Gruntspeak. And again, there's the producer Blake with his finger pointing as he's wearing this like pink suit. You've been fined 1 credit for violation of God damn it. I can't even say it anymore. See, Chris says Rob Snyder was in both, so he gets a pass. Yeah, and Rob Snyder's a funny. He's finally just let him. He held himself back in his comedy for a long time, and he got to the point of fuck it, and he's just, oh my God, I dare you not to laugh. Holy shit. Lena says, would we ever get similar society as seen in the anime Psycho Pass? Technology was really cool. Haven't seen Psycho Pass, so I can't comment on that. See, Lena says, after the death game ends, participants are guaranteed to have their limbs reattached with the surgery if they survive. I like my parts where they are. Thank you very much. I mean, I'd like them fixed up a little bit, but I don't want them to be reattached where it's always going to hurt when it's going to rain. It's kind of messed up. Okay. Chris says, with the story idea mentioned, it could be fun if you make it like a kid is venting into their grandpa's old ham radio that's actually still working, but she's not talking to grandpa. She's talking to humans. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. That opens up a lot of possibilities there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just keep that one on the notes here. Okay, down here's Erica saying, I have a one-off. Okay, hold on. Let me get the notes here. I'm running out of space here, and that's a good thing. I have a one-off. Humans find out we are the ones protecting the universe from paranormal entities. Okay. Humans protecting from paranormal entities like cryptids and similar stuff. And the Xenos have no clue. Xenos declare war and humans let the paranormal things have some playtime. Now, I kind of already did that. It was kind of a holiday special, or I should say Halloween special. Hold on, Xeno invade cryptid loose. Okay. Oh, yeah. There's 2 O's in Lucy dummy. Anyways, yeah, I did something similar in a Halloween special. I've done so many, I forget the name off the top of my head. And Chris saying, exactly, recon through ghost stories. Why the hell not, right? Let's see. Sniper here says, why almost every single American that I know comes from Texas? I think you mean Texas, and just because it's a massive state. I am very far away from Texas. I am not even close. I'm over in New England. And I can't believe they named it New England. Ugh. But then again, I'm in a solid blue state. So yeah, that kind of makes sense, unfortunately. But yeah, we all have plenty of tax. I'm actually waiting for one more piece of information before I can actually go to my accountant and drop my stuff off. Well, I'm going to scan my stuff and send it to him, but I'm also going to drop the file off so he has a hard copy to look over. Let's see. War Sniper says, I like Fury and Saving Private Ryan. I personally did not like Fury for one simple reason. 2 words. Brad Pitt. Okay. He has, for the last probably decade, every time he gets a hold of any movie, he always has to set himself up as the most flawless, perfect hero out there. Okay. When he did his movie with the train, he's an unbeatable assassin who's just funny as, or he's trying to go all full Deadpool on people. When he did Fury, every other tank commander was completely fucked up from the ground up, and he was the only one who knew his shit. You know, what was the other? God damn, I'm trying to remember the other one. But yeah, he keeps trying to set himself up as like the most perfect. World War Z. My God, that was bad. Oh my God. And he set himself up again as the noblest of noble heroes, the most awesomest of the awesome ever. And I'm sitting there going, no, stop fucking up what's good. Okay. They had the exact layout, how to do Fury with the actual war daddy back in World War II. He was a badass motherfucker, just like so many other guys were back in the day. Just a total fucking badass. All they had to do was follow the script of what he did. And no, we're going to do all this artsy fartsy bullshit. The only things they got right in all Fury was, 1, yes, people were ended after the battle. 2, yes, you do use the main gun on real people that are not in armor. 3, is it cramped in the tank? Oh, yeah, it's cramped in the tank. 4, you got a good chance of rolling over a mine? Oh, yeah. That's about it. That's about the whole thing. And no, there's also when he rolled in, he immediately set missions, set standards of work for who was doing what. That's exactly the way it's supposed to go. So I guarantee he watched an actual tanker do that part, but the rest of it sucked. It was just terrible. And, you know, I'm not even a tanker. I've been around tankers my entire career, but it was just dog shit. Ugh. I mean, and by the way, if you guys didn't notice, every single one of the original crew of the Fury tank died exactly the way they fought. The bow gunner was dead when you first got there. He died in the bow gunner's position. The driver cradled a grenade in the driver's position. The loader took shrapnel in the back. He died right where he was grabbing his ammo from. The gunner got shot through the eyeball when he dropped the eye that was shot out went right against the scope. Shocker. And who is the only one who didn't? Well, actually, Brad Pitt's character died again in his command seat. But I'm like, what the? Okay, that's enough of me. I'm getting back up. As far as Saving Private Ryan goes, yeah, that's how brutal it was. At least the first like 20 minutes where they hit Omaha Beach. Yeah, it was that bad, if not worse. How do I know this? There's a very, very interesting interview when they showed the movie to a bunch of World War II vets, and they asked, "Are you going to be okay?" They said, "Oh yeah, I've seen war movies before," or whatever. Those of them that could and were there got up and walked out because they couldn't handle it. They said, "This is too real." Yeah. And it's just, they did a really good job putting that scene together. After that, it gets a little Hollywoodish. But it wasn't a bad movie as far as accuracy goes. After the first 30 minutes, not so much. And yes, would a file clerk not know what to bring to the field when they got Umpum there? And he's like, "You don't need that." And he just kind of threw it away. And it's like, that's right. If you can't eat it, drink it, or shoot it, you're probably not going to carry it. So yeah. Also, the whole assault on the machine gun position by charging it was, I'm sorry, just stupid. You have a fucking sniper, a very good sniper. He could have picked off every single one of those guys at 600 meters, and everybody would have been fine. So yeah. Anyways, I'm not going to pick apart that movie because it was good enough where it deserves what it got. Anyways, back out of the rabbit hole. Lena says, "From my own writing, I designed magic in my world and is based on the rules of physics." Good. For example, telekinesis is used to move the objects that is based on the idea that you can't ignore mass or weight, which is true. And the thing is, depending on how you run the actual physics inside the head will decide a lot of that, especially when it comes to movement speed, not just size. And now, as far as weight is relative. Mass is, yes, 100%. You can't fuck with that. Because the denser something is, the harder it is to move, pure and simple. Hence why something of the same size, like depleted uranium versus, say, cotton, the depleted uranium is actually like you can feel the weight in your hand. But a quarter-sized piece of cotton is like, go away. You know, it's, let's see. War Sniper says here, "For some reason, I love escorting B-17 Flying Fortress in-game where I need to protect them. I just love it." It's, well, that's part of you're a protector and provider. That's part of your nature, man. It's just, it's what we do. It is just what we do. And honest, if I had the money to actually build this sort of thing, what I would do is have the entire fuselage inside of like a B-17, and be like a video game. You know, you got the guns that will, you know, move back and forth, but on the outside, it's like 3D screens where you can actually see the fighters and stuff coming in, and you're actually like running the guns at them, and it will actually like you wear a vest and like goes red if you've been hit, and then they got to come up and like hit you with a medical thing or whatever. You get as close as you can. But my God, I have a feeling you line like 10 or 12 of those up and people go in, they just be like, oh my God, man, I'm glad I wasn't part of this back in the day. That was fucking hard. I was like, yeah. Let's see. Erica says, if you like to try the Museum Men, it's about a team dedicated to finding historical, religious artifacts and the art that got stolen. Yep. Just like when our guys went into Iraq and stole the body of Gilgamesh. Yeah, if you don't know about that, watch the Y-Files or something. You'll find about that. Lena says, I have several anime that like to put Victorian maids in every time period possible, and they still use swords instead of developing guns in their world. Yeah, I never understood that. I know Japan has this thing about firearms. They're just scared of them. And it's just, I don't know. It just kind of blows my mind every single time. And they'll even have battle maids, and they're like holding daggers in their garter belts and stuff like that. And somehow they pull a friggin' 4-foot sword out their butt crack or something. I'm like, what the fuck? He continues with the two basic combat spells that I really like to use is kinetic bullet spell and plasma burst spell. So in other words, a fireball explosion, because that basically is what flame is burning plasma. When you break it down physics-wise, of course. I also like to use lightning bolt spell, dragon fire spell, and fireball spell. Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. If you know, you know. I'm not going to get into that anymore. Okay, but yeah, those as far as the lightning spell goes, small. Just remember a certain amperage, and you get the heart just stops. It just stops right there. Body drops. You're done. You just have to leave them alone for 30 seconds, and they're completely done. So keep that in mind when you're writing your story, man, because this is one of the things that really drives me nuts. Even with anime, manga, and all this, you'll actually zap somebody directly, like 4 lightning spells, and all they do is they get a little scorched and they jiggle a little bit. I'm like, no, that's not how that fucking works. You hit them with 1.21 gigawatts, and trust me, they're not getting back up. At least, even if they survive it, they're not going to get up for a long time. And even if they can, I don't think they're going to want to. Okay, Guardian says, there's actually a whole list of things in Star Trek universe that the replicators can't make. Really? Latinum? Is that like the maid that comes into your house, the Latinum? It's just one of them, and is the only one that has shown to be used as an actual currency. Oh, Latinum. I didn't know that's how it was spelled. Oh, yeah, Latinum is, like I was saying, it's a fluid. It cannot be made. Yes, you're right. That's why it is used as currency. Absolutely, 100%. Now, the thing is, I have done a little checking with a few folks, and they say the, how do I put this? The molecular assembler, there's not a single thing on this planet or anything on the periodic table it can't make. It's just certain things will take a lot longer. When that happens, I worry about who's going to start making plutonium. Honestly, we should have got away from that shit and just started making thoron reactors and called it good. All right, Guard says, you see a big problem with Gate focusing on the Navy is the fact that in the manga, they're not mentioned the Navy once. In fact, they should be going into their Civil War arc. Yeah, I saw the closest I saw was the whole thing about Japan and its islands get teleported into a medieval world. And they were just amazed to see a friggin' something as small as a Corvette, just whiz by. And then this like one destroyer goes up against the entire freaking armada of everybody else. And they're just like, what's that going up in the sky? Why is it coming at us? Kablooey. And it's like an SR6 or something, or SM6. And all of a sudden there's nothing left of that boat. I say don't use your 6s, use your 2s. Those things are a lot cheaper. But then again, you would hope they have the manufacturing to make the damn things. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if they do a good job. I didn't think they did a very good job with the original Gate because I think they overplayed their hand too much. It was given too much of a handy to the friggin' self-defense forces, which they're not self-defense anymore. So, yeah. Let's see. Chris says, real life War Daddy was way more badass than the disservice they betrayed. Yeah, absolutely. 150 million fucking percent. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Him and his crew were just exceptionally good at what they did, and they knew it. The thing is, they didn't get cocky. They knew that if they didn't keep their wits about them, they are fucked. But yeah, they pulled off some of the most amazing shit. And even when the chubby Sparky there did a whole episode on him, actually, he didn't even talk about the whole thing. I mean, there was a lot more to it. I mean, they could fill books, and I read one of them. And that's why when one of our armor guys tried to get, he was in Delta Company, and he tried to put Daddy of War as the title of his track. They immediately had him take that shit off and said, find something else. Nobody will ever use War Daddy again just because it's so recognizable. Guard says, well, the Gate Civil War arc, because there's the Prince forces and then there are the Loyalist forces. And they even said they couldn't get the naval ships in because of how small the Gate was. Yeah. Yeah. They're grasping at straws. They're trying to pay homage to everybody. That Gate's so goddamn small, they can't barely, them even showing fighter jets was a stretch. Because in actuality, the thing is only wide enough for 2 tanks. And even that, there's barely a couple of feet on either side. Tanks are wide. They're not that wide. Unless in some way you get aircraft that have folding wings, which many do. But those are exclusively American aircraft do that. Then they can, well, I shouldn't say exclusive, only. Most American aircraft do that. That's what I want to say. Then maybe you could roll that sucker through very, very, very slowly. But the fact of the matter is, the Gate was too small for most of that. And the fact that they were using Phantoms, which are definitely not designed for that, I'm sorry, no. It just stop. Anyway, Lena says, I'm thinking about how to explain Black Sun and Death Ray spells because Black Sun spell annihilates everything. It's a black hole, dude. It's not a black sun, it's a black hole. Now, the thing is, here's one thing you could do with to explain the black sun. That's a black hole. Say you use it, and the black hole sun, won't you come around again? And it hits something, and it leaves like an orb-shaped hole wherever the hell it was. And they're like, oh my God, you destroyed everything. Have your character walk up and go, did I now? And just pick up some little shard of something. But as he's picking it up, he's got to use both hands because it's so heavy and so dense because he just like condensed an entire mountain range into that one little thing. And he's like straining as hard as he can, or he's using his telekinesis to actually pick it up. He's like, oh, did I now? And then, or again, black hole sun, something into that, and then use your pebble shot with telekinesis, and you just made a stronger projectile than depleted uranium that is going to go through everything at whatever speed you give it. Now, as far as Death Ray, well, I've never met Ray, so I can't say too much. But that's one way of working around the whole black hole sun, or black sun, however you want to put it. Okay, shifting gears here. Erica says, to describe the size of the U.S., from Indianapolis, north of Chicago, 2.5 to 3 hours drive, south of Louisville, 2 to 2.5 hours drive, east of Pittsburgh, 3 to 8 hours drive, northeast New York City, 2.5 day drive. Oh, from it, yeah. And that's just going from Indianapolis just to a couple of these cities. I've actually made the drive from the East Coast all the way to Vegas inside a truck, by the way, which was not fun. I got caught up in a winter storm, and that actually having to go a little bit across the side of the road in four-wheel drive, I accidentally ripped my brake line. That was not fun. Suddenly you press down and you feel that lack of pressure on there. You're like, please God, let us stop. But that's one of the reasons I use a stick. She continues with, from Indianapolis, west of Kansas City, 8 hours. Southwest to Austin, Texas, 1.5 to 2 days drive. LA, from Indianapolis to LA is 3 to 4.5 days. All of this dependent on stop and rest. Yep. And yeah, in truth, the U.S. is actually a pretty big chunk of land. We're just strategically placed. Lena says, no, it's slightly different. No, it's a slightly different kinetic bullet spell. Generates compressed air projectile. Okay. Fireball spell generates unpredictable explosive ball of fire. Okay. The plasma burst generates rapid fire plasma. Now, still, plasma being the fourth state of matter, you can go a lot of places with that. So if you want to make that kind of a Vegeta Gallic gun type of thing, you could. But still, plasma in any of those states is going to be very, very hot. I don't know of any where the plasma will be cold. Maybe I'm screwing up my physics, but I don't believe so. Now, the thing is, plasma at that point can actually double as a electrical burst as well. Not a very strong one, mind you, but strong enough. So, yeah, that's going to be very interesting to explain how things actually operate and how you might actually have to take this to a actual college and talk to a physicist on this. However, you're probably going to be talking to a chemical engineer and a few other folks for that too. See, Guardian saying he's done. And looks like Alan's done. Let's see. Lena says, yeah, I think it's kind of like a black hole with destructive power of a nuke. Okay. All right. Since I reached the bottom and it seems we've been going for almost 3 hours. Holy God, you guys are killing me. I got to go feed the fire because I can actually feel it getting chilly in here. So I just want to say thank you, everybody. And a special thank you not only to everybody who came in here and hopefully hit the likes and, made sure that you are still subscribed and everything like that. I'm going to once again drop the Discord link into the chat box. So in case you guys haven't got it yet. And, Sniper, yeah, you're definitely on that one. Anyways, again, make sure you guys are still subscribed. Hype if you can. I appreciate it very much. And your final safety brief for the night, guys. You know, if you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, feel free to kick their ass. Also, if your little soldier's going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. It gets wet in the bush, at least if you know what you're doing. Also, be careful on the roads, everybody. With the weather being as funky as it is going to get very slick very fast, okay? I almost had an issue today, okay? No joke, not even a quarter mile down the road, and I saw there was a curve coming up, and I saw there was some blowing snow across there. I slowed down as best I could, but I could still feel my tires slide a little bit, and I almost ran over a flock of tom turkeys later on that day. It's guys, just be careful, please. Please be careful on the roads. Okay. You guys heard about the car pileups and everything. So especially if you're on the highway, if you start losing visibility, find your way off the goddamn road, please, for the love of God. Everybody I know who's gotten in an accident has always said the same thing. I couldn't see, but I thought I could push it through. Guys, it's not worth it. It's not. It's better to just call somebody and say, hey, I'm going to be late. All right. On that note, take care, everybody. And I will see you here next week on Syntex Live. And if Cartman can help me out. I will see you guys later.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.